So, um, tonight's Proverbs 10. A bit of a long one. So, the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son brings grief to his mother. Ill-gotten treasures have no lasting value, but righteousness delivers from death. The Lord does not let the righteous go hungry, but he thwarts the craving of the wicked. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. He who gathers crops in summer is a prudent son, but he who sleeps during harvest is a disgraceful son. Blessings crown the head of righteousness, but violence overwhelms the mouth of the wicked. The name of the righteous is used in blessings, but the name of the wicked will rot. The wise in heart accepts commands, but a chattering fool comes to ruin. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. Whoever winks maliciously causes grief, and chattering fool comes to ruin. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence. Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers all wrongs. Wisdom is found on the lips of the discerning, but a rod is for the back of one who has no sense. The wise store up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool invites ruin. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city, but poverty is the ruin of the poor. The wages of the righteous is life, but the earnings of the wicked are sin and death. Whoever heeds discipline shows the way of life, but whoever ignores correction leads others astray. Whoever conceals hatred with lying lips and spreads slander is a fool. Sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold. Sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold their tongues. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver, but the heart of the wicked is of little value. The lips of the righteous nourish many, but fools die for lack of sense. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, without painful toil for it. A fool finds pleasure in wicked schemes, but a person of understanding delights in wisdom. What the wicked dread will overtake them, what the righteous desire will be granted. When the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. As vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so are sluggards to those who send them. The fear of the Lord adds length to life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The prospect of the righteous is joy, but the hopes of the wicked come to nothing. The way of the Lord is a refuge for all the blameless, but it is the ruin of those who do evil. The righteous will never be uprooted, but the wicked will not remain in the land. From the mouth of the righteous comes the fruit of wisdom, but a perverse tongue will be silenced. The lips of the righteous know what finds favor, but the mouth of the wicked only what is perverse. A bit of a longer one. Covers a lot of stuff. One thing that sticks out to me that is covered in a lot of these is how much it talks about the tongue of the righteous and chattering fools, or the tongue of the unrighteous, right? In the New Testament, I forgot exactly where, being honest with you, but it talks about how the tongue has the power of life and death, right? You can either build people up with it, or you can tear people down with it, right? You can lead people astray with it, or you can instruct them in wisdom and give them constructive feedback. right? And tried to guide them and mentor them and stuff like that. And if you think that words aren't important, Jesus is the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God from the very beginning, right? Jesus is the Word made flesh. So if you think words ain't important, that's kind of the Son part of the Holy Trinity. Is the Word. As mildly confusing as that is, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around all of it and how to explain some of it. But needless to say, words are important, right? And I feel like that keeps on getting slammed in Proverbs 10. Another thing too is verse 5, where it says, "He who gathers crops in summer is a prudent son, but he who sleeps during harvest is a disgraceful son." There's a parable in the New Testament where it talks about how the kingdom of God is like a harvest. It's like a bunch of crops that are coming in, and that the harvest is great, but the workers are few, right? I think that can tie into this where if you're a prudent son, you're trying to harvest, crops for the kingdom of heaven, which is bringing people to the kingdom of heaven, right? That's something that you'll be rewarded for, and something that God looks at whenever you stand in front of a perfect judgment, right? Let's see. But he who sleeps during harvest is a disgraceful son. You don't want to be sleeping and doing nothing and taking the easy way out and doing what you can make an excuse for that feels right in the moment of, well, I'm tired, so I'm going to rest, right? Whenever it's time to get some work done. Yeah. Need to be doing what you can for the kingdom of heaven, right? And sometimes you don't know exactly what that is, but it almost reminds me of, as terrible as this is, that meme where it's, "I'm tired of this, Grandpa." Well, that's too dang bad. Keep digging, right? Doesn't matter whether you're tired or not. Whenever it's harvest time, right? You got to get your crops in. Doesn't matter if you're tired or exhausted or not, to an extent. Whenever it comes to the kingdom of heaven, got another Bible open up over here. In Isaiah 40, where it talks about verse 30. In chapter 40, "Even youth shall grow faint and be weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who wait on the Lord renew their strength, and they rise up like on the wings like eagles, and run and are not weary, and they walk and do not faint." So whether you're tired or not, you might be tired, but if the Lord's Spirit's in you, and He says it's time to keep going, you'll find that strength, and it'll be strength that doesn't come from you. And to be frank, it shouldn't come from you. Because then you run the risk of, well, look what I've done for the kingdom of heaven, look what I've done by my strength, and that ain't how it works, right? There's another verse that says, like, in your weakness I'm made strong, right? So I think there's a lot of times where you're supposed to hit the end of your rope, but you still do stuff, and whenever people ask you, "Hey, how'd you do that? How were you able to do this? How were you able to do that?" kind of thing, or whatever it was, you can just rock and roll and say, "Well, that wasn't me, that was Jesus," right? It was straight up a miracle to be able to survive that or pull that off or whatever it was, because if you had done it on your own, it wouldn't have got done, or it wouldn't have got done right. So a bunch of those verses seem to kind of come from this one. "He who gathers crops in summer is a prudent son, but he who sleeps during harvest is a disgraceful son," right? Harvest times now, folks. Sometimes you might not know where to start. There's a lot of truth to be said that you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So you can't just keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, or leading folks astray, not knowing really what you're talking about or anything like that. Which is one thing I wrestled with real hard on doing any kind of commentary on reading this stuff, because I'm still reading through the whole book on my own for the first time, being honest with you. And really doing a deep dive in it and stuff like that. So, I'm definitely not in any kind of position whatsoever to really be a teacher or mentor or an instructor or anything like that on this. It was something that I felt like I needed to do, so we're doing it, right? So yeah, watch your tongue. Don't be lazy. Let's see. What else we got? Yeah, that's the long and short of it so far. I'm kind of getting out of it. Yeah. Fun stuff. Proverbs 10. Take it easy.